Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a huge universal idea that pretty much governs why we move, why we sometimes get stuck, and ultimately, how we grow. It's a really cool concept that connects the way a star moves through space to the big changes in our own lives.
So let's kick things off with a question I think we've all asked ourselves at some point. Why do I feel so stuck? You know that feeling, right? It's like you've hit a wall, whether it's in your job, your relationships, or just your own personal growth.
Now, the source material for this actually starts with something as down-to-earth as a real estate problem. But it uncovers this much deeper, universal truth. Stagnation, you see, is something nature just can't stand. The idea is, if we don't make the choice to move and to grow, well, eventually, nature is going to make that choice for us.
So what is really going on when our growth just seems to stop in its tracks? And why do these situations that used to feel so comfortable, so secure, suddenly feel like they're falling apart? This idea from our source is pretty powerful. It explains that what feels like a crisis, losing a job, having to pack up and move, it's not some kind of punishment. It's more like a natural mechanism. It's almost like the universe's way of making sure we don't get permanently stuck in a place that we've either outgrown, or worse, a place where we've just stopped growing altogether.
Okay, and this is where it gets really, really cool. This isn't just some psychological theory or a metaphor. It's actually based on a fundamental, physical law of the universe.
And here it is. This is the core concept we're going to unpack today, the law of mass. It's actually super simple, but so profound. All it says is that mass and movement are completely tied together. Nothing that has any real substance is ever truly standing still. Just think about it for a second. Right now, you and I, we feel like we're perfectly still. But our planet, with its absolutely immense mass, is literally hurtling through space at an incredible speed. And it's being pulled along by the even bigger mass of the sun. It's a perfect, massive scale example of the law of mass in action.
And this is how that exact same principle gets applied to us. See, our movement isn't determined by our physical weight, but by our internal mass, all of our knowledge, our wisdom, our experiences. So just like the sun's gravity pulls on the Earth, this internal mass that we build actually pulls us toward our next move, our next change.
So let's bring this down to earth and see how this idea gives us a practical way to understand our place in the world, from our jobs and where we live to even our circle of friends. So, when we say your personal mass, what are we really talking about? Well, it's all of your inner qualities, all bundled together. It's the knowledge you've picked up, the skills you've worked hard on, the experiences you've lived through and learned from, and the wisdom you've gained along the way. That is your true weight in the universe. And this cycle really explains why we sometimes go through these painful setbacks. It's not about failure. It's more like a recalibration. When we stop growing, our inner mass shrinks, and so nature moves us to a new environment that fits that smaller mass. But this new place isn't a demotion. It's a new classroom, designed to give us the exact lessons we need to start building our mass up again.
This is a tough one, but it's so important. The key is to accept the new situation with a bit of humility. It means letting go of that attachment to who we thought we were, the restaurant owner, the team leader. This new spot isn't a step backward. It's exactly where you need to be to build a new foundation and get ready for the next stage of growth.
But what about the other side of the coin? What happens when we are actively trying to grow our mass? Well, the universe doesn't push us down. No, it pulls us forward into bigger and bigger orbits. Have you ever just gotten that restless feeling, that itch to travel, see something new, maybe learn a new skill? Well, according to this principle, that's not just some random whim. It's actual, tangible proof that your internal mass has grown. You've outgrown where you are, and your own growth is now pulling you toward new experiences that match your new, heavier weight. So this all leads us to the final piece of the puzzle, and honestly, the most profound part of this whole concept, the ultimate reason this system of mass and movement even exists in the first place. The idea here is that all these movements, all these challenges, and every single lesson, they aren't just random events happening in some chaotic universe. No, they're actually part of a very carefully structured curriculum. Now that is a way to reframe our whole existence, isn't it? We're not just these temporary physical beings. We are spiritual entities, here in human form to study. The challenges we face in life, that's our coursework, and it's all designed to increase our spiritual mass, preparing us for a higher existence. And when you look at it like that, you can really start to see the grand design behind everything. Every move, Every struggle, every single success is just part of this cosmic education, designed for our ultimate growth. So the law of mass isn't just physics. It's the very mechanism that makes sure we are always in the right classroom, at the right time, learning the exact lesson we need to learn.
And that leaves us with one final and I think really empowering question. And look, this isn't just about packing your bags and moving to a new city. It's about intention. What book are you going to read today? What new conversation are you going to have? What skill will you finally try to learn? What is the next deliberate step you're going to take in your own cosmic curriculum?